Hello, this is Sean White coming back to you here for another installment of the mini series on hypnotherapy. I'm hoping that you really have enjoyed the last two videos as I was talking about more so the introduction of hypnosis and also to just dispelling any myths or misconceptions in which an individual may have when it comes to hypnosis and hypnotherapy. So in this video, what we're going to do is that we're going to talk about the conscious versus the subconscious mind and how that works in unison, but also on how hypnotherapy works. So the first thing I want to do, I want to talk to you about the conscious mind, then we're going to talk about the subconscious mind, and then we're going to dive into that. So the conscious mind, for most of you may or may not know, is the front part of the mind. This controls our logic, our reasoning, our decision making, and our willpower. This is the stuff in which that we know, as for an example, say for instance, when you're reading a book and you are reading the contents of the page, well, your conscious mind is figuring out on whether it's logical, if it makes sense. Or say for instance now that if you are on a diet, for an example, and you know you cannot have chocolate cake, well, the decision making and the willpower for the conscious mind, it goes such as, well, today I will not eat that chocolate cake because I'm on a diet, and you start to build what is known as the willpower to resist not eating it. Versus now with the subconscious mind, that's actually in the back of our minds. Based upon many studies, you hear anywhere between it being 80% or even over 90% our dominant mind. These are the things in which that we do on a routine basis without even thinking about it. And to go a little bit more step further when it comes to our subconscious mind, normally when we start from childbirth, from 0 to 8 years old, a lot of programs and different attitudes and behaviors and certain routines in which that we have picked up mostly stems from that period. And the reason being is because our minds are so wide open, so we're suggestible to just about anything. So our subconscious mind, folks, doesn't understand the difference on what is real and what is fake. But there's another layer coming to our minds, which is called the critical mind. And that is something in which that from the time that we're from 8 up until about, some people may say like 12 or possibly even 16, around puberty age, that's that area. I want you to look at it as more like the gatekeeper. So the way that the mind works is this, is that as we're processing the information, it goes to the conscious mind, then does from the conscious mind, and then goes up to what is known as the critical mind, that filter or the gatekeeper, if you will. Then thus, from there, once the critical mind accepts it, it then goes into what is known as the subconscious mind. So you may be wondering, okay, Sean, well, that's great. So how does hypnotherapy works? Hypnotherapy works is that as the therapist, you give us access in order to bypass the critical mind. Remember, that's the gatekeeper, and it allows for us to introduce your subconscious mind. Meaning that in session, whatever as far as you may be experiencing, such as stress, anxiety, maybe fear of public speaking, fear of flying, whatever the case. Now, because of us going through the session, you allow for us to be able, remember, because we have access to your subconscious mind, we are then able to bypass that gatekeeper, which is the critical mind, and thus enter your subconscious mind in order to infuse with positive suggestions and reinforcements. Thus, you, as the client, are still working with the conscious mind, which again, which stems with the logic, the reasoning, the decision making, and the willpower. And thus, together, we are then able to achieve 100% of the results in which that you are looking for. So another example, say for instance, that if you have a fear of public speaking, well, obviously your goal is that you want to feel empowered. You want to feel confident. You want to be able to feel that you can be able to communicate to your audience in a much more articulate manner and deliver that message effectively. Just to give you an example. So I hope that this video has certainly helped. I know as far as on the next video, I'm just going to go ahead and introduce you to some induction methods and then also some deepening techniques. So you don't want to miss that. So stay tuned for the next video, folks. Until then, take care.